Hello everyone, this is Amy Wing with Gauche Alchemy, and this lovely woman is my mother, Carrie Kilgore. She is an amazing artist.
She has to say that.
No, she's really an amazing artist. She's an amazing bead weaver, and just recently she has gotten into a lot of interesting polymer clay stuff. Here's an example of some of the things that I'm going to be reproducing today. This video is going to show you how to make molds of little tiny found objects and charms that you may want to recreate for use in your artwork or jewelry making. And Carrie has found a pretty good process that works pretty well most of the time. I'm a rank beginner at this, and I have already figured out how to make some really good molds today.
Because these are very small, it does take a little bit of practice, so be patient. Understand that until you bake it, it's malleable. You can work with it. One thing I'll just stick in right away is because it is a soft clay, it picks up the heat from your hands really well. And if it gets to the point where it's starting to feel sticky or having real trouble with it, you can just pop it in the refrigerator for a little bit, pull it back out, and you're good to go again.
Okay, so if it seems too doughy or sticky, then just, you know, set it in the fridge for, what, a minute or two.
Or if you're having trouble, you know, getting
a clean impression.
out again or whatever,
right.
Just put it in the refrigerator for a little bit.
Okay, so your first step is you're going to get a little chunk of the mold maker, and it handles just like regular polymer clay. Just gonna break a piece off or cut a piece off, and you want to condition it a little bit. This is really easy to condition. A lot of clay will just need a lot of hand strength and whatever, but you're just gonna kind of work it around like this until it feels pliant and relatively smooth. It doesn't take long. I think we're about there. Okay, so I've rolled out my polymer clay. The rule of thumb is that you want the clay to be about twice the thickness of the piece that you are going to impress in it. For example, this piece, you can see the thickness might be a little too much for that piece that I've rolled out, so I'm going to take a really, really thin piece. This is just a really thin piece of like tin or aluminum that I liked the design, and I could use that, but that's not really thrilling me right now. So how about this? We will do some keys. These are all very, very thin. Now this part is extremely important. You want to take your baby powder or your cornstarch or talc powder or whatever. Make sure you don't breathe it in, and pour it out shake a little bit of it out onto a flat surface. Use your brush, your paintbrush or your makeup brush, to just lightly tap it over the clay, and then make sure that you also tap it onto the surface of what you're going to be impressing. This makes a big difference. You're going to have trouble pulling this out if you skip this step, and you'll realize it pretty much right away. And you could put several things on one mold as long as they're about the same thickness. It works fine. So you just want to be careful when you're pushing it in. Try not to get any stray hairs or fingerprints or anything like that. Now you can see sometimes pieces are not completely straight and level. You may have to rock them around a little bit like you see me doing here to make sure that the impression gets every piece. So here's my last key that I'm going to put in here. Push it down. Now you're going to find that it may be difficult to get these pieces out without destroying your mold. What you want to do is you want to take an X-Acto knife and just very gently lift up one corner. Try not to make any impression on the mold. Just lift up one corner until it's lifted up well enough to pull the piece out. Okay, so you can see what this looks like. You can see the impression of the 3 keys. Not a lot of detail here, although it will pick up a lot of detail. You can see that this mold, which has already been fired, has a lot more stuff on it and takes better use of the space than the one I just showed you as an example. Don't be afraid to fill up your little mold template, because then you just get more for your money. All you do to fire this is you just follow the instructions that are on the package. You can use your toaster oven, your home oven, or a special polymer clay oven, which kind of looks like a toaster oven. And just make sure that you read the safety precautions. Okay, so I'm going to take the clay and I'm going to push it into the mold, but first, don't forget this step. You want to take some more baby powder and just dot it in there. So that it will release well. And then you just take your clay and you kind of squidge it in there. Okay, and then when you pull it out, you can see that there's some baby powder on it. It wipes off pretty easily. And there is our swan. If you're going to keep the little charm hole, you want to use a tool to hollow out the little charm hole part. And this is like looks like a drill. And that works fine, but also you could use a paper piercer or a needle or even a ballpoint pen, or just whatever works for you. Make sure that you dip the end in your powder before you do. This little swan is a little plain, and one thing that I love to do is take mineral makeup powders. This is an eyeshadow from alima.com, and you want to go very sparingly, as I've discovered, because a little goes a long way. And you can just kind of paint it on there and you see it picks up the details. Alima sells these beautiful colors in little sample pots for $1. You can also use old makeup, or there's other places I'm sure you can get samples or makeup. Eyeshadows are really good. You can use one color, more colors, but you can see that that makes a difference. Now, we're going to go ahead and fire this according to the manufacturer's instructions. This is Fimo polymer clay. You can use Sculpy. There's some other brands. Okay, one more example. I'm losing my light here, so I'm going to be quick. This is the original brooch. This is the Mold Maker mold, and then this is the end result. It doesn't pick up real well on the camera. You're just going to have to trust me that it looks stunning. And you can see that we put a rhinestone in there too.